Well, okay, cool.
All right. Thank you all for being here. This is actually our first guest speaker session, so I'm so excited about this. I'm so looking forward to going through Brandon's experience and learning from his journey. So this is going to be great. So the idea here is that yeah, we are gonna hear Brandon's experience building a business. You are 21, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
So yeah, he's very young. He's already built a business. So this is exciting. And you guys, please do ask questions. You know, over all the years of my professional experience, I learned that experience is so important, and you can learn so much from a single question that you ask to someone that actually went through the process, way more than reading 10 books. So this is um, a very nice opportunity. Thank you, Brandon, for being here and for sharing your journey. So yeah, I leave it to you, Brandon.
awesome. Well, good
Yeah.
morning, good afternoon. I don't know if you guys were here earlier, but I'm in Japan at the moment, so it's noontime for me. So lucky, lucky for me. But yeah, super grateful to be invited to talk about my journey so far here with you guys. My name is Brandon. I'm 21 years old, and I'm actually living in Japan at the moment. So I run Point Maestro, where we help business owners and other high income earners turn their expenses into luxury travel. And now, given my age, most people might think that I just kind of started this business, but actually, I've been obsessed with credit cards since I was 15 years old. If you don't mind, I'll try to just share some quick photos here. I don't know if you can see. Are you guys able to see my screen? Or the presentation there? Okay, good.
It's coming up. Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. When I was 15 years old, I actually counted down and tallied the weeks till I turned 18, and I would erase one tally every week until every Sunday. A little bit weird, but
Oh my God.
from there, at 19, I actually did my first solo trip ever to Japan for which I only paid about $65 round trip using points. Right. This is me in Osaka. Some photos from Kyoto. Me eating Kobe Wagyu beef, and of course some other
Nice.
photos as well. But from there, 20 years old, I walked away from around just shy of a $20,000 a month solar marketing agency, and now at 21, I'm running Point Maestro full time. So today, I kind of want to share about how I went from being a weird kid obsessed with credit cards to running a business around it, and what I learned about turning my experiences into a living along the way. Right. So 15, stumbled onto credit cards while learning about making money online, and I got hooked. Forums, Reddit threads, transfer partner charts, videos, and I spent hours every day researching the best ways to use credit cards, and it turned out to be a perfect match. I stumbled upon a way to travel the world for cheap, and I had no money. So perfect. But the only thing I could do in the meantime while I was 15 was actually get an authorized user card for my dad to start my credit card journey early. And then, of course, wait till I turned 18 to get my first credit card. And then after about a year later, I booked my first trip to Japan. Again, $65 round trip for flights, where most people would usually pay around $1,500 for those flights. And that trip changed everything for me because it showed me how understanding the systems that others people don't. For example, that system's typically one that kind of preys on people. People don't understand credit card interest rates or like what debt actually is. But if you know how to use it correctly, it gives you access to some things that might seem impossible, right? Just this last year, when I came to Asia, I flew business class from Utah to Japan, which for that flight specifically costs around like $9,500, but I only spent $12 plus 100,000 points, right? And actually, impeccable timing. Let me share real quick again. Something I'm more proud about is my mom yesterday. My brothers and I flew my mom on her first business class international flight from Japan back to America using JAL, which is usually one of the hardest flights to book with points. And that was a retirement gift for only around $270 out of pocket. But I don't know if you can read it, but it says like, my feet are too short to reach the rest. Um, the flight attendants found out that we got her that trip, and then they made a little fruit tray for her, or a fruit tray for her. But yeah, she had a lot of fun. I actually just got home like as of like an hour ago. So it's amazing we're able to do that and give her amazing experiences for really cheap. For reference, that flight usually costs around like $4,000 to $5,000. But yeah, at the time when I got into credit cards, I didn't really think about turning this into a business, but more that it was just a fun hobby. Now, even outside of that, my whole story is like around 14 to 20 years old, is I tried a bunch of different things, right? I started trading stocks at 14 years old. I distinctly remember going to like a grocery store and wanting to buy candy, but my dad wouldn't let me. So of course I started trading stocks to make money. A few months into it, one of the days I actually made around like $1,100 in one day, and I thought I was a genius. But of course, it didn't really turn out super successful at the end of the day. But one thing that did teach me, that changed my life at the time, I realized that is if a 14-year-old who had just finished middle school, for reference, is able to make $1,000 with basically no experience, there must be a lot of ways to make money in the world that isn't just a normal route, right? From there on, did day trading, drop shipping, sold some long plushy kitties, kitchen blenders, kids' toys, etc. Made a few $1,000s here and there, but nothing super long term. Even affiliate marketing. I spent a few weeks to maybe like 2 months building out a whole website, and then turns out that I'm too young to even become an affiliate. So I did that all for no reason. But from there, after graduating high school, at 18, I did door-to-door sales for a year, where basically I had spent the past 4 years behind a computer screen trying to make money and wanted to change. And the main reason I chose door-to-door is I knew it was going to be hard. It's quite a difficult job. I don't know if you guys know what it kind of entails and what country you guys are from. And I primarily wanted to test myself and most importantly, improve my sales skills. But funny enough, I went to it thinking that I'd be selling in Florida, going on the beaches, nice weather, and have the time of my life. But a week before I flew out, my manager called me and said, "Hey, we started a new office in Fort Smith, Arkansas." And I was like, okay. I hurried up to my computer, searched it up, and it's the middle of nowhere. But turns out it was actually near where the first Walmart started. But it was the first time I went on my own, took a plane, got delayed, and I arrived at Fort Smith Airport, which I think is the smallest airport I've ever seen in my life, with about like 3 airport hangars. And I was like, what am I doing? I got in when everyone was late. I got into my room, got into my bed, and I didn't have any blanket or pillow, just a bed sheet to keep me warm. The thing I found out though is with the people in the sales community, it was the first time that I was surrounded by people that were similar to me. You know, growing from 14 to 18, not many people are interested in starting businesses, developing themselves, investing, weightlifting, whatever it is. And my first week doing door to door, I made $2,300, and it felt amazing. And throughout that 1 year, the most I made in about 2 weeks was like $13,000. But that's not to say there aren't those weeks. I think the longest I went with 0 sales, got paid $0, was like 5 weeks straight. So there's always those emotional roller coaster there, and that applies to business as well. But looking back, I couldn't even imagine being in Japan right now, like going back to the heat of the summer, where going out knocking doors, getting rejected, doors slammed on me, guns pulled on me, scary encounters with dogs, and of course the hot humid weather. And on top of that, majority of people don't even like door-to-door salesmen. uh, yeah, door-to-door taught me two main things. Where first, sales is all about belief, either for your own business, where if you don't genuinely believe the product helps the customer, that feeling will bleed into their subconscious and they won't want to buy. So whether you already started your business or already have one, create a product so good that you have a wholehearted belief that not only will your product solve their problem, but that you are the best solution for that person. Second, your business is a reflection of yourself. Even though as a salesman, I wasn't exactly an entrepreneur, more of an entrepreneur. But when I was confident and had unwavering belief that I would succeed, I made the most money. And then when my routine was off or something was going on in my life, my success faltered. No, I'll get to that a little bit later. And then, so running a business is one of the best ways to see straight to your faults. And because of that, it's kind of the best way to improve yourself. After a year, I combined both what I learned running advertisements and copywriting from drop shipping and my solar industry knowledge from door to door and started a marketing agency. So from what I understand, some of you guys are professionals either in your own industry or want to start your own business based off of a passion you guys have. And that's honestly the perfect place to start, because when you know the industry lingo and when you know the industry more than your customer does, they will trust you with their money, right? For context, I help solar salesmen get leads by running their Facebook ads. And the way that I differentiated myself is helped with transitioning from selling on the doors to selling virtually. So they didn't necessarily have to go out every single day and knock on doors. Instead, they can just hop on a computer, hop on a call with a phone or face-to-face. Made it a lot easier and saved them a lot of time. From there, with a marketing agency, within less than a year, I scaled it up to just shy of 20 grand a month. And most people would say, hey, wow, super successful, 20 years old. Of course, I didn't really tell anyone how much money I was making at the time, but the truth is I actually hated it. I spent most of my days on sales calls, which drained me. A typical day, sometimes I would have early calls, like up until like 7 a.m. And then I'd roll out 2 to 3 minutes before the call, brush of the hair, hop on the call and big smile till around like 6 p.m. at night. And then after that, eat dinner, go to the gym, fall back, go to sleep, and then repeat that back and back. And if I wanted to travel, it was also a pain. As an example, there was a time I was traveling in Venice, Italy, and I had a client check-in call scheduled for around that 10 p.m. Italia time. And I had to rush from a different island in that area to get back to my hotel. And I was coming down with a fever. So a little bit of double negative, right? The most important thing that kind of wanted me to choose a different business is I knew what it took to get either continue my business and even scale to higher numbers, right? Scaling to $50,000 a month plus, or like $100,000 a month plus. I need more clients, more calls, more of what was already draining me, and I wouldn't be able to travel as much, of course. In thinking of what business I should start next that I would enjoy running, no matter what number I scaled up the business up to, is I always enjoyed travel hacking and credit card points, funnily enough, right? I've been doing this for free for years because I genuinely enjoyed it. I helped friends, family, both with their credit cards and even booking trips as well. So I walked away from that $20,000 a month with no clear plan, because I knew I couldn't keep doing something I hated just because it paid well. One thing I did notice before getting into it is business owners are leaving massive value on the table. So I knew there was opportunity, right? One of the first things I did in starting the new business is getting testimonials and social proof. I think that's one of the best things you can do. I got together with some of my business friends in Austin, Texas, and basically did a free credit card roadmap and got a video testimony in return. Of course, again, just makes it a lot easier for new clients to come into your business, and tell that you actually can say, like, do what you say you do, right? To give you an example of like what my current business does, one of my first clients out of my friends, Jonathan, he was spending about $70,000 per month on credit cards just for his business, using the Amex Business Platinum and maybe like a Bank of America card, earning about 700,000 points per year. But I don't mean to get super technical into this, but it's not bad. He was able to get like a flight or two for his family. But with the credit card roadmap, I broke down the different categories he'd spend in: advertising, travel, office supplies, etc. And with that, within the first year, he went from 700,000 points earned to 2.3 million points in his first year, and then 1.7 million points every year after that. So for context, that 2.3 million points is worth about $40,000 conservatively. And this all stemmed just from a 15-minute initial call where I was able to essentially pull out tens of thousands of dollars of value for him. Right. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, most of you guys might be from Canada. But if you are, what I've found is like Amex is typically the best way to do that. So like Amex Gold, Amex Platinum, Amex Business Gold, and Amex Business Platinum is what we set them up with. And where Amex Gold, it's typically the card that you earn the most points with. And then Amex Platinum is like travel perks and like clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, quick little tip there. On top of that, we were able to help him book 2 business class flights from LAX to Tel Aviv, California to Israel, basically, round trip, which those flights cost around $22,000. And for him, we were able to get it around like 700,000 points and only $1,200 out of pocket for taxes. So effectively saving him around $22,000 on a flight, or $21,000, right? One trick if you're looking to getting into this is most people use Amex Travel Portal or whatever bank travel portal that you have access to, and usually only get around 1 cent to 1.5 cents. But when you use transfer partners, you usually get at least like a 70% increase or double your value. So if you were to use the Amex Travel Portal, you would have used 1.5 million points instead of that 700,000 points. So effectively, I was able to double his value of points that he was already getting as well on top of that. So again, sorry for all the numbers. Might get a bit complicated, but that's kind of part of the reason I have a business. But yeah, the main thing that I found is most businesses owners either, one, don't have credit card optimization, like they don't even know it exists. 2, they think it's too complicated to learn. And 3, they know generally how to do it and don't have the time to put it in place, right? I knew I could solve all 3. So main thing I do for my business and for my customers is, 1, set up the right credit card strategy so they're earning the most they can from spend that they already are doing. Mm-hmm. And 2, book their luxury travel so they're not spending 10 plus hours tracking new flights, rewardability, whatever it is, or spending tens of thousands of dollars more than they should be, right? Mm-hmm. Again, a fair amount of my clients may already know how to find flights, but for most of them, their time is worth more than the hours and hours time spent finding the best redemptions. So that's primarily the hole in the issue that my business fulfills. Now, to break it down for you, the main things I kind of learned from this is, 1, I truly believe you can be successful in anything you put your mind to. Of course, cliche, but I think people need to be reminded more often than they need to be instructed. But there's successful day traders, successful e-commerce businesses, successful door-to-door salesmen. Anything you can think of, there's likely someone successful at it, right? As a teenager, I was hopping between different business models, school, sports, and looking back, I never really treated business as an actual job or something just fun to do on the side. And the main key is sticking to one thing long enough to see it through, which is what changed for me with my marketing agency. That was the first time I was actually able to make good money and like actually start scaling and actually have a say I can actually do business, right? Most people don't give it a big enough shot, and at first hint of failure, they try to jump to the next shiny object, right? Number two, if you do have knowledge that solves expensive problems, you can make a business. You know, credit card optimization is by no means sexy. Most people don't even know about it. But what I found is most business owners are leaving at least like $30,000 to $50,000 per year on the table, if not more. And that is an expensive problem, right? If you solve expensive problems for people who can afford to pay, you have a business. And in fact, the people that I try to target the most are people who are already spending tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on travel already. And I'm able to just save them money on what they already plan on spending. Right. And number three, the best business is one you can sustain. I made more money with my marketing agency than I do right now with Point Maestro for now. But I hated running the marketing agency and I love running Point Maestro. Sustainability isn't necessarily just about revenue. It's about whether you can do this for years without burning out, right? The freedom to build something you actually care about is worth more than a bigger paycheck doing something you hate. Whether that's a business, whether it might be your job, your profession. One thing I like to say is, especially if it's a high earning income job, it almost acts as like golden handcuffs to the next step of your life, because there's too much pressure for you to quit that job, start something new, or family pressure, like, oh, you're going to quit your job, all that stuff, right? So that's what I learned from ages 14 to 21. Some things that I learned at 21 running Point Maestro is, even though I'm building a business around something I love, doesn't mean it's easy, right? I still have to do things I don't enjoy, admin work, client follow-ups, content creation. But the difference is when I help someone earn an extra 1,000,000 points per year from spending they're already doing, I generally get excited, right? When I help someone book a dream trip, let's say like a honeymoon trip, and help them save thousands of dollars, the reaction reminds me of the same reaction I had when I did my solo trip in Japan, right? That feeling, the genuine excitement about the work is what make the hard part bearable. To kind of finish it off, a quote I love that embodies this is from Tim Cook's internal memo to Apple, which says, there is a saying that if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. At Apple, I learned that is a total crock. You will work harder than you ever thought possible, but the tools will feel light in your hands. Yeah, I know I might have ended a bit early here, but happy to answer
That
any
was
questions. And yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think well, I super enjoyed this talk. I have so many questions. I was actually taking a lot of notes, so I try to restrain myself so others can ask questions as well. But just to understand a little bit more your business, so and your business model, what is your pricing model? And also something I'm interested to hear is that pricing structure different than the one you started with? Has it changed, and why, if so?
Yeah. So when I first started, it was just kind of my MVP, my most I forget, my most viable product, minimum viable product. Sorry.
Yeah.
Where basically I charged around $400 for a credit card roadmap, and then a flat $600 per trip booked. But now the only thing I really changed right now, I can definitely start charging more for the credit card roadmap, because $400 for earning him an extra whatever $20,000 per year even is quite low. And then for the trip booking side, it's more of a percentage of saved. So say they're going to spend $20,000, I save them $18,000. I just take a percentage of the money that I saved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. You guys have any questions? I can continue all night, but I want to give you the opportunity to ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, sorry, Brendan, right? Yeah,
Yep.
thanks for your sharing. Your story is very inspiring, and thanks for ever for inviting you here. And I'm just curious about, I may I ask how you got started. I mean that I would like to hear about your very first venue revenues come from. I think firstly it's that more like a B2C, right? Instead of B2B, or currently you are still run on B2C. Because sometimes I check about the Point Maestro and you mentioned that you can also help the company to sell their expenses, something like that. So I would like to hear more about how you really get started from the very first beginning. Thank you.
Yeah. So very first beginning, right now basically is I did the website, get the client testimonials from my friends there. And then the main way I got clients first coming in is through LinkedIn and kind of posting on that. And basically what it is whoever get interested, they're able to book like a 15-minute introduction call. And then I'm able to see how good they are at credit card optimization right now. What are they doing for their trips? What trips they have booked coming planned, and then see if we are able to help them save money. And if we are, then we kind of push them towards the other products. But yeah, first started primarily LinkedIn. The guy just kind of clicked on my profile, copped on a quick call, and kind of went from there. Did that answer your question, or did you have a? Oh, B2C. Sorry. Yeah. With my business, we're primarily working with like the business owners, where they're the ones typically like applying for the actual credit cards. So it's more like ideally solo business owners or just a little bit smaller CEO options, as opposed to like a big board, and then kind of working from there. So less B2B, more B2C.
Mm-hmm. I have a question. So you mentioned that you enjoy the business, but you are still doing things that you don't like, and things that you will hopefully not do anymore in the future. So as the business grows, what are the things that you won't do anymore? Like the things that you will delegate, automate? What are the things that you are started seeing as, this is something that I won't do anymore in, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, whatever?
Yeah, one big thing is both kind of breaking down their spend and the credit card side of things, is because I feel like a lot of that can be automated, both for one, figuring it out, because like I can just ask like a simple form instead of necessarily hopping on a call, and that can kind of automatically generate what kind of cards are best, as well as check out because one of the things on top of just credit cards is like sign up bonuses, and sign up bonuses change from month to month, right? So I'm able to kind of track what the best sign up bonus in history there is, what it is compared to like what it is now, and typically when the highest sign up bonus comes out throughout the year, to recommend them to get that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the one main thing is like the credit card roadmap. I feel like that can be done pretty well, just automated. And then the booking side, one cool thing that I'd like to get into in the future is actually helping my customers book the actual flights, because I help them find the flights, but actually in order to help them book the flights, I'd have to get into their bank account, have them transfer the points to the airline partners, and then go from there. So I've thought of a few different ways that I can do that. Either maybe hire like a personal assistant to kind of help them do that, so they trust that person, or find a more easier way for them to do it through like a software part of the business.
Yeah,
definitely a lot of ideas.
Actually,
yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Definitely a lot of ways I can automate the business, and as well as add different revenue streams for the business.
Yeah. I do have a follow-up question on automation, and you mentioned software as well. What is your take on AI? I mean, a lot of people are talking about AI right now, and from what I've heard so far, your job is more like, optimizing credit card use and, other stuff. Um, so are you guys using any AI, and what's your opinion about it in general?
I think AI gets you pretty far, but it doesn't get you like those little like small personal human touches, right? So it'll get you far
Mhm.
enough, but then of course you definitely want to make sure everything's correct afterwards, or make sure that it actually knows everything that you know, whether it's like new sign up bonuses or anything like that. But for right now, I feel like gets you pretty far, but maybe not far enough.
Okay, nice. I think we have a question from Yambo.
Um,
Yambo, you wanna ask the question yourself, or?
oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm muted. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the conversation. That's very good. And my question is that because you said that the first clients that contact you through linking, so I'm just wondering because that's very good because you mentioned about uh, starting a business is not only support your economy, but also keep motivating that you're interested in doing working helping people. And I think that traveling and dive deeper into enjoy about the credit card point is make you a very good start. And my question is that how do you remember how the first client contact with you, which means that you already shared something on the website, so that convince them, oh, that's very good, and you really have this kind of experiences, so they would like to contact you. That's my question.
For the client testimonials I have on the website, or do you mean like just like the first paying client that I ever got?
Yeah, because you mentioned that the first client they contact you through
Mhm.
LinkedIn. So I'm just curious because we will do a kind of a survey or questionnaire, right? So how do you know me? Yeah, something like that, and how do you believe me that I can solve your problem? So that is my question.
Yeah. So a lot of my content on LinkedIn right now is both stuff that I do, like kind of travel as well on that side of things, as well as what I do for my clients. So I'm able to use myself as kind of like a client testimonial, as well as the testimonials I got from my friends as well. And then from what they did is they clicked on and then they literally booked that 15-minute free call. And then I'm able to kind of break down their situation from there. So they booked a call on my calendar and then we talked from there.
Nice.
Yes, Marcela.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you. Thank you for everything you share. And I, I, I am amazed about everything you did. Um, I am wondering how much time takes you to uh, run the business from your first client to at the point that you said, okay, this is uh, already going like, yeah, like you say, it's a business.
Mhm. For the marketing agency, I think for that one, I didn't run advertisements yet. I was kind of just doing like Instagram DMs, funnily enough, because it's super cheap. For that one, it took me, I think, about 3 months to get my first client. And then from there, I was able to start running ads. And after I started running ads, that's kind of when it kind of started growing a lot more. And then for this business, um, it took a bit, probably around the same amount of time because it is more like organic for LinkedIn as well. But I'd say around the same amount of period. But of course, there's certain businesses where you're able to hit it off right away, or it might take a little more time, and you just kind of build up your baseline over time.
Yeah. Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
But you already have like people that was following you and know about you were doing, so you have a reputation behind you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the friends and family that I had, especially the beginning, like it's it's pretty big to say like the amount of value you can provide. It's like, hey, I flew to Japan for $65, and that already kind of gets the conversation started. So it's really easy to kind of show the amount of value being provided, and then from there, it just kind of goes from there.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think
Young-
that
Sorry, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No, go for it.
Yeah, we have a question from Yambo on the chat, but I wanted to actually ask you kind of a follow-up question there from Marcela's question. Do you think that having started a business from something that has been your passion as well, like traveling and optimizing credit cards, helped to already have this social proof before actually starting the business? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think both the social proof that I did it myself is big, but also I mentioned it as well in the story that having like the industry lingo down, whether it's your own profession, I feel like you're able to show that you have full belief in what your product is, and full confidence that your product will actually help your customer.
yeah, that makes sure.
Makes sense. Yeah, we have a question from Yambo. He says, what do you see as the real mode of a Point Maestro? The knowledge, the trust you build with clients, or something else that gives you a lasting edge over competitors?
Yeah, 100%. The main moat that I see with Point Maestro is being differentiated, that it's primarily towards like business owners. And on top of that, since I have been a business owner, I'm able to build solutions specifically for them. I have a bunch of ideas for when I continue to grow the business to help differentiate myself from those other competitors as well. But yeah, main thing is the knowledge and knowing more specifically my background of the clients that I'm working with and what they specifically need.
Nice.
Alejandra, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Brandon, for the conversation. I think you are a great storyteller. Now we are talking about the DM. You have like 1 or 2 tips to build an effective copy for the DM, like
Effective copy. Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah.
What has worked for you in your
Yeah.
experience?
So for what I kind of find the most, I mean, is acting almost as like a customer or like someone on a main level, not starting with selling. Especially with LinkedIn as well. You kind of want to build that relationship first, and then kind of over time kind of show what you're able to do. Specifically for solar, what I did is with solar salesmen, they're quite passionate about what company they work for. It's like their team, their sports team they're kind of on. So you ask like, hey, are you working for a Vivint? Are you working for whatever solar company they're working for? And they're like, hey, yeah, do you want to come work with us? Or are you looking for solar? And that kind of starts this conversation. And then you kind of break down like what exactly you are doing. So I like to say this. I remember saying this on the doors, like, we're not shoving solar down your throats. Like, we're not just here knocking your door, just like buy. We kind of want to learn to get to know you better, and then as well as just we're coming from either common ground or we're also looking to buy what you're selling. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's this idea to build like a real connection with the person.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned the door-to-door, and I think that is a very powerful experience, having the experience of feeling what rejection feels like getting a no in the face. So you said that you were 18 years old.
Mhm.
I was actually finishing school at that time, but anyway, you were doing door-to-door sales, and you made 2,300, I think you said.
Yeah, that's my
But
first.
that's a way of seeing it. Like my question is from the other angle: how many no's did you have to get those 2,300,
Yeah.
and how it felt? How did it feel?
Or- and yeah, my worst sprint was 5 weeks with 0 sales, right? You're going out, or for solar it's a bit less, like typically it's like 5 hours a day, but you go from the end of the day, like 4 p.m. till 9 p.m. even, when it's pitch black, you're knocking on
Mhm.
doors. And for context, we aimed for around like 65 doors knocked per day.
Oh, wow.
65. Wow.
Yeah, 65 doors knocked per day. Only about maybe 10 of those actually open the door. And nine of those probably either aren't actually your typical homeowner you're looking for, because like typically you want both homeowners there, like the wife and the wife and the husband. So
Mhm.
9 of those are people you can't sell on the spot. 1 of those are ones you can actually set an appointment for, because you can't get the sale with solar right at the first time meeting. You set up an appointment for a different person to come by and close them. So 65 doors a day, only 1 of those are actually a person you can typically kind of set an appointment for, and then you get the sale some other time. So it's a lot of work, but of course there's some weeks you bet a lot better, like 65 doors. I think the most sets in a day I've gotten is like 6, so like 10%. So of course it is a numbers game, but yeah, it's definitely tough.
I can imagine. And how did that? I mean, is it similar in your business now, like in terms of knocking virtual doors, or virtually knocking doors? Do you still have to face the same kind of rejection level? And yeah, how do you handle that?
Yeah, so that's kind of one big thing that I changed with this new business, Point Maestro, is I kind of felt that coming to my solar marketing agency, right? Because I started with my Instagram DMs. That's like my virtual door knocking. I'd spend multiple hours a day just sending DMs, get hit like Instagram limits. But then I looked back at that, and I'm now starting a new business. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that, one, first of all, anymore. And second, the sales calls are like that much. Like I think the sales calls are even more draining, because you have to be like 100%. And I made a LinkedIn post about it. Like, of course, waking up 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. right before the call, blasting music to kind of hype myself up. That was definitely tough. And so now for this new business, I'm able to provide a lot of value in a short amount of time. So with like a 15-minute call, I'm able to see whether they actually are people that I'm interested in working with, that can actually help with their business, and kind of go from there. So I took what I learned from door-to-door sales and my marketing agency, and with my new business, I made it so that I'm not as much as kind of dealing that daily rejection.
Yeah. Sorry, Yambo, Ale, Marce, you guys want to ask any questions? I have way too many, but
I do have a
Yeah, I think Allah first. Allah has a question there, right? Rejection. Yeah. She has put some.
Oh, audio rejections.
Yes.
yeah.
One way is like every no is closer to the next. Every no you get is closer to the next yes. So the people that I see that are most successful in sales are ones that, like, I love getting no's. Like, oh, reject me again. Like, keep rejecting me. I'm just that much closer to getting a sale. I'm that much closer to getting a yes. Right? Instead of saying, oh, I'm really looking to get a sale, I'm really looking to get a no. I'm really looking to just put in the reps as opposed to getting the result, getting the success. That success for me now is getting those no's. So finding fulfillment in the daily, the actions that you get you there, as opposed to the success that those actions get you.
I love the way you phrased it. I think, Marcela, you have a question?
Yes, I do have. I was wondering what habits or behaviors help you to um, keeping growing without you burning out or losing yourself in the process of building your business.
One thing I love is working out and exercising. I think it's good for everyone to do, because not just that it's like necessarily healthy for you, but you're able to see the outputs a lot easier than a lot of other things you do, right? If you go to the gym for a week, you're able to see, oh, I got a bit stronger. It's a lot quicker return for your investment than a lot of other things, because you can start a business, go 3 months without any sales, and you see no results, right? But if we're working out every single week, oh, I'm getting stronger, and again, I'm getting stronger again, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting fitter, I'm losing fat. So working out, I think, has been a big one for me. And one thing that helped a lot for my mentality itself is actually reading books, right? I forget the quote exactly, but like, the people that are most successful are ones that stand on like the shoulders of giants, something similar to that. But just learning from people that have already experienced it. And that's kind of how I actually survived my 14 to 18-year-old arc, is because the people around me weren't interested in the same things that I was interested in, but rather I surrounded myself with the authors that were actually writing the books that I was reading. Right. So those are my 5 people that are around me, as opposed to my friends that were interested in school. I mean, sports, by no means, nothing against them, but I basically surrounded my mind with the people that are writing the books. But yeah.
I do have a following question, because I think it comes with this. I was going to ask you, what book do you recommend that? With book do you think it changed your mind or help you growing?
I love giving book recommendations, but it depends on kind of what you're looking for. But as for like the first book that got me into it is How to Win Friends and Influence People, by Charles Duhigg. I believe that's his name. That's the first book that kind of got me into self-improvement and reading all these other books. Over Deliver is a really good book for your business. That one's basically, you just want to I mean, the book's really good. I think another one would be 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, or Highly Effective People. That one's really great. There's quite a lot, but I think Over Deliver gets you pretty far. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People get you pretty far. But yeah, is there anything you're typically looking, or you're kind of looking to learn, or kind of looking for, or looking for in a book?
Yes, I have a strong belief that I think it is not good, I know, but I have a strong belief that money is not good. So it doesn't help me to grow and to build a business, because so I am trying to unlearn that part of me. And I don't know. This is why I am trying to figure it out.
There is one book that I recently started reading, is Company of One. So the thing with me is with my new business, I kind of want to keep it pretty low maintenance, not have to deal with a bunch of employees underneath me. But company one, at the very beginning, it kind of breaks down. There's people that want to grow like to $1 billion, $2 billion of business or even higher. I personally don't care about getting that high, but scaling your business enough to be sufficient for what your goals are, right? So you want to hit a certain amount of money and hit that and just stay there. That's completely fine as well. So just building a company that you're passionate and content with running instead of seeing everyone like, oh, grow, 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 grow. You need to do this, you need to do that. You just build it for yourself. So I think that book might be good for you to read it, to look into.
Thank you.
We have time for a few more questions. Yambo, go ahead.
Yes, I think that Braden, you like Japan, right? Because I think that you're living there. Yeah, like, Japan is one of my favorite places. I always like to go there, go ski or something like that. So are you in Hokkaido or are you in Tokyo?
Fukuoka, so the southernmost part of Japan.
And
then I stayed a month in Hokkaido last September. And then I've been in Asia since last September. And then I intend to be in Japan till like June, July this year.
Yeah, it's very good places to enjoy and stay. Yeah, and right now I have a following question because Aber is encouraging us to start generating an idea. And so I would like to ask you, when starting your business and especially this one, Point Maestro, so will you have many ideas and pick one of them, or you just, oh yeah, that's it, I would definitely like to do that? So that's my following question. Based on current stages, that when we are going to generate idea, I would like to hear more about your thought. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a good podcast. I'm not getting paid, but is My First Million. So that podcast is really good. I listened to a lot when I was I guess listened to a lot a few years ago. But as I was listening to that podcast and just kind of going throughout my day, I have like a huge Notion doc of businesses I want to start, a bit of like things I want to do, whether it be like apps I want to code or like SaaSes I want to build or other businesses like that. So I think both consuming content, like podcasts and stuff like that, or even like reading books. I think reading books is pretty good because you'll learn from someone else's story and you're able to see that same story in your life and think about like, hey, what can I do with like, what opportunities can I find with the stuff that I know about my life? So I think that's a really good thing to do. And at this point with my business now, I also mentioned it as well, as if you're able to solve expensive problems for rich people, you're able to have a business. Because there's like e-commerce where that usually you get pretty low profit margins. There's like very different businesses. But yeah, solve expensive problems for rich people is basically my approach now.
Like that. Any
Good
other
point.
questions, guys? I do have 2 quick more questions. So one question is around your area of expertise, I guess. I mean, you already know way more than myself on credit cards and, travel points, things like that. But I guess, I mean, you had to really master that area, those skills and everything. So is there anything else that you really had to learn like super well to offer what you offer and generate authority and being in that position where people pay you because you know more than them?
Yeah, I think that's why this business has come to place, is because all the things that I did before this business, door-to-door sales, marketing agency. Marketing agency is a pretty good one to kind of learn all the basics of a business, I would say. is because you learn advertising, you learn running ads, you learn sales, you learn copywriting. So I think that has helped a lot. More like the sales side of things, building my confidence, on top of the knowledge in the credit card space and travel hacking. That's helped me build this business.
Yeah, makes sense. And last question, at least for me, if you had to start all over again, talking about the Point Maestro business, if you had to start all over again, what is the one thing you'll do different?
One thing I would do different. Might be I mean, at this point, I feel like this past year and even this year, I've been pretty satisfied with the way that my life has been going. I've been like every single day, I'm kind of driven to the goals that I want to get to. So I would say I don't think I would change anything. It's going how everything is planning, is how everything should be going, and in due time. A saying I love is amor fati, which is love of fate. So whether you believe in God or whatever, I don't necessarily believe in God, but like, say that your life was written out for you. Every single thing that goes against you, every single hurdle that goes against you, it's part of your fate. Like I just love it's kind of part of getting rejected, getting told no. But I love those no's because that makes me that much closer to getting to a yes. Is like God is or fate is just teaching me these lessons. I'm like, maybe I didn't get successful at 15. I'm not driving a Lamborghini in Tokyo, right? But for my life, that's kind of how things are. They're going as they should go, basically.
Yeah, I love it. All right, thank you very much. This has been super inspiring and interesting. So next things. So I'm gonna send an email to all of you, so you guys can connect if you want on LinkedIn. Please follow Brandon. And yeah, I'm recording this, so I'm gonna send you the recording as well. And yeah, thank you very much. This has been incredibly interesting and inspiring.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night
Mhm.
and a good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a good night.